The social atom is a diagram of a person's network of relationships. It can be done for any point along the continuum of life, for past, present, or future. You can do a social atom of a family of origin, of the network of present-day relationships, of what you like your relationships to be like a year from now, 5 years from now, 20 years from now. The social atom can be done entirely as a paper and pencil exploration, or it can be moved into sculpture on the stage. We call that an action sociogram. Social atom is a diagnostic technique in psychodrama. It's one of the most useful tools. You get a sense of the family map. If all you ever did was do the social atom and share it, that's quite sufficient. But in psychodrama, we also have the option of moving it into action. So we use triangles to represent males and circles to represent females, and a broken line. If someone is deceased, we represent them by a broken line. That's for deceased. You can include anyone on your social atom. You can include pets on your social atom. Systems you can find a way to include in your social atom. Do we have anybody who would feels warmed up to putting their social atom up on a?
Every time, I've done this before, and it seems every time I do it, it seems to be the same scenario.
Okay. And what time period is this from, Les?
Childhood. I don't remember much of my childhood, but the sense is childhood.
The sense is your childhood. And this represents the circle?
That's my mother.
That's your mother. She's quite large.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is, my father died 30 years ago. That's my father.
Okay.
There's also 5 in my family, and 3 brothers. And I have a twin sister.
Twin sister.
And
Okay.
then, I draw me this way. And what I always do is I'm sort of over here. But the thing is, it's funny because I'm getting this image of, well, I'll just do it, rip this off. Can I rip? No.
Yeah.
Rip it off?
Yeah.
And it feels as if I'm buried underneath. That's how I see it.
That's how you see it.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
Okay. What it is essentially is locating yourself on the piece of paper wherever it feels right to you, wherever, if that's down here, if it's in the center, if it's over here. Locate yourself on the paper wherever it feels right to you, and then locate your relationships in whatever size and distance feel appropriate. If somebody is larger than you and far away, or is small and close, this sort of thing. Is this from childhood? Is it from present day?
Childhood.
Okay.
Mom.
And Dad.
I do squiggles.
Anything you want. You mean connecting squiggles?
Tension.
If you want to.
Is that okay?
Anything you want to do.
Tension. It's my brother. There's also my sister,
Mother Marion.
Mother Mary.
Okay. And you would, if you wanted, You would be farther out here.
I'd be out here.
Okay, do you want to locate yourself where you think you'd be? Okay.
Oh, well, I'd probably, all right, that's all right.
You keep moving farther out as you explore?
That's true. I also could be up here because I'm an observer.
Uh-huh.
And then there's Richard. And he and I are pretty close, but further out here is the baby that died at 3 months.
Yes.
You know, he was an infant when he died. So that's why he's out there.
Yeah.
But of course he was big in here.
Let's see that.
That way. So he was 3 months when he died,
And his name?
and his name was Howard.
So there's a lot of movement, people in different places, and you're not sure exactly. Do you think you're not being sure where you are here relates to this? Not being sure of a sense of place or your own place?
I'd always heard of him in just general reference. He was really never talked about.
Uh-huh.
And it was only recently that I went to the cemetery and I saw all the dates, all the events that happened. My mother's parents also died when she was 19.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I mean, there just was a lot of death taking place.
Mm-hmm.
This was prior to my birth,
Mm-hmm.
but there was something that just came across to me when I saw the gravestones and I saw the dates of the deaths. And I just realized how much grief they carried, you know, for a very early start in their lives.
How much grief your parents
My
carried
parents carried.
from their own life.
And so the focus was always on Mom and how Mom was, if Mom was okay, or if Mom wasn't okay. And there would be periods of time when everything seemed ideal and we were the happy family and everything was good and there were celebrations and whatnot. But in fact, you know, when she was not quite 60 years old, it's like she had gone as far as she could go in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And she ran out of spirit and she committed suicide. So, you know, I see it now in retrospect that I was trying to affirm life out of this. And it was the beginning of a lot of pain. Working through a lot of pain.
So sociometric choice means just walk towards the person you feel the most warmed up to, which means it's a choice that comes from here. It's where the identity is for you, where the warm-up is. Just place your hands on the person, of the shoulder of the person. Okay, there's fair warm-up in both places. Fair warm-up in both places. Little more warm-up in this side. So we'll move here because the more sociometric alignment is, the more you're telling the story of the group, stories that the group identifies with. This group is identifying with both stories. How does this group feel if we move over to this story for now? Which is not to say we can't pick up pieces of that atom as we move through the afternoon. Does that feel okay to this group? Okay, we'll come up, Betsey. So using this as a map, just choose.
Choose people to play.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Mother.
Mother.
So big.
Big choice. The audience, or group, provides the safe container in which protagonists can do their deep emotional work. They act as witnesses of the exploration, and they play the roles necessary for the protagonist to explore their inner worlds. Betsey is choosing people from the group to represent the people who have lived inside of her without shape and form. She's able to concretize them and bring them out onto the stage.
Dad?
Dad? Yeah, sure.
Would you be my brother Richard?
Yes, I will.
Thanks. And Donald? My younger of two, whatever. And Marion. So you're my sister who's 4 years older than I am.
4 years older than
Yeah,
me.
she's the firstborn in the family. Do you want me to just arrange people?
Well, is anybody...
Missing is Howard.
Yeah, missing
Right.
is Howard. Howard
Right.
is missing.
Howard is missing.
It's hard to find Howard. It's hard
It's
to
not
remember.
hard. It's not hard to find.
It's not hard. She concretizes the brother who she lost many, many years ago, but still has a large impact on the unconscious of the family. Would you like to choose someone to play yourself for the sculpturing and the stand-in?
Yes.
Yeah. So just sculpt this as if you were a sculptor. Put people in the place that it felt like, the psychodramatic reality, the surplus reality. Where were they inside of you? Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that okay? The relative distance, the closeness, the size, up, down, small, big.
You're me, right? Okay, well, you come over here for now.
All right.
Be my observer.
Okay.
My observer, so. Mom. And Dad? Will be out here. Who's my sister? My sister. All right. Because there was 10. Richard. Okay. You and I, mascot kid, is that you? You were, sort of, you can get down maybe. Can you do that? Yeah, you were sort of in that good position, kind of the focus of attention.
How does it feel to look at that?
It has a foreboding look. It's a story waiting to be told. That's how it felt, but it didn't feel real.
Who in that atom do you feel attracted to, comfortable with?
Comfortable with.
Yeah.
My brother.
Okay.
And that's played itself out in these years as well.
What about antagonism?
Well, from this morning, I keep thinking, well, okay, it's been so many years, it's like milking this thing, but that's where it is.
That's where it is, right in the middle of that.
That's where it is.
So, do you want to talk to Mom from outside of the social atom?
Absolutely.
Or do you want to reverse roles and talk to her from the inside? Reverse roles with your stand-in.
Well, one of my, I see, I could use my stand-in to do it?
Well,
That one?
You could either reverse roles with your stand-in and speak to Mom from inside that childhood reality, a regression scene, or you can stay out here in the adult and speak to her.
I'll do it with my stand-in.
Okay, you'll go
Yeah.
back into the childhood
Right.
scene.
Right. Okay, I got to talk to Mom.
all right.
Yeah. I don't think I can't talk. I don't have a voice. I don't think I did have a voice with you. I knew everything. I know everything that's going on. I don't understand, but I know. I know who I was supposed to be. You would talk to me and have expectations for me. You would talk to my father about Betsey. But you didn't really talk to me. It was always, you would do things, but you wouldn't talk. I was part of the duties of the day. I don't think you knew who I was.
I didn't feel we connected. I felt like part of what you were supposed to be doing, but I didn't feel like you saw me, connected with me. Correct that if it's not.
I didn't think, I never felt as if you saw me connected with you.
I don't know what to say to you.
Say that again, Mom?
I don't know what to say to you.
I guess I want to hear that I'm somebody. That I have a place in this family. That I belong here.
I don't know how to say that to you.
I did want your attention. I was the good child. Everybody was good. Nobody acted out. But I always felt like I was no trouble. I wouldn't add anything into your distress.
And you didn't. You didn't, but I don't know what to say to you.
I remember one time when you were angry at me, and my memories are so meager. My brother remembers things better than I do, but I remember this. I remember you were angry with me, and you put me in front of a mirror, and you said, "Look at that face," because I think I was scowling, angry. And I don't know that I ever showed you that face again.
Now move it right into the here and now and say what you need to say as that child.
I showed you love.
I show you love.
I show you love. I admired you. I looked up to you.
I look up to you. I admire you.
I'm scowling because
I don't feel real when I say that. I feel like I have to give you the part of me that you can accept. Anything else would disturb you or upset you.
I didn't like it when you scowled.
I was a child. I had no understanding of that. Things were not okay.
Things are not okay.
Things are not okay.
Tell her
There's
what's not
something
okay.
going on here that doesn't feel right.
Reverse roles. Give her last line.
Something's going on here that's not all right.
I'm too busy. Just go and play. It's just not a good time. It's not a good time.
It's never a good time.
I have to take your brothers to their game.
Reverse roles.
I have to take your brothers to the game.
I need my time. When am I going to get my time?
Again.
When am I going to get my time?
Again.
Tell me I matter. Tell me I'm important. Tell me you care. Tell me. Where do I belong?
Reverse roles.
Tell me I matter. Where do I belong?
I have so much. I just carry so much. I have so much to do. I can't accomplish all I have to do. I just don't have room for you. I just don't.
Reverse roles.
I have too much to do. I just don't have time for you. I just don't.
I'm afraid of you.
Tell her about that.
I'm afraid of you. I'm afraid. I never know. I never know when you're going to explode. I never know what's coming next. I don't like it when you grab me by the arm. It doesn't feel safe. I never know how to be or how to act or what's coming next. I never know what's going on with you and Dad. I never know how things are going to be more at the dinner table.
Why do you have to know?
I don't feel safe.
You want what I can't give you. I'm afraid of you.
I'm afraid of you.
I don't know what's gonna happen next. How can I tell you what's gonna happen next? I don't know what's gonna happen next. You're asking for too much. I don't know.
I see you with Marion. I see you hit her. I see you yell at her. I see you scream at her. I see you scream at my father. You scream at me.
Well, your father needs to be screamed at, but I don't want to have this conversation with you. I don't.
I'm just a kid. If you don't know what's going on, what am I supposed to do? There's got to be a parent here. I'm just a kid.
I feel like I'm supposed to perform and please you and do things that show accomplishment and success, and I don't know how to be myself. I'm just a kid. I just don't know how. I don't even know if it's okay to be a kid. I don't know if it's okay to be scared.
I like it that you don't give me that stress. I don't need that. Just be good. That's all I need. Just be good. Just be good.
I'll talk to Richard.
Okay.
I love being a kid with you. It feels safe and it feels secure, and I can be part of something. We had separate lives. You had your friends, I had my friends, but somehow back at home, I always knew you were there. And I'm speaking from the adult.
You can.
It's fun being kids together in this house. There's a lot going on. And it somehow feels good when we're together. It feels like there's, Teresa, who was kind of the maid in the family, and it'd be the two of us with her, sort of, when, I don't know where Mom and Dad are most of the time, but, you and I are together and we're with Teresa. And that felt safe, and Donnie would be in bed, and Marion would be doing her thing. And it just feels good that way. I just want to say that. You're my connection.
You're my connection.
Yes.
Other than that, I'm not sure just where I fit.
That's right.
This is the scene, and it comes out later.
Right.
Anything else you want to do to, if you could, yeah?
I lost Howard. I was just looking for Howard. Where'd he go? There he is.
There you are, Howard.
Yeah. Because this is what happens.
This is what happened.
I forget that he's really there, and of course, when I was here in this place, I didn't know about him. I didn't think about him, but he was there, that's all. I just needed to put him there.
We were all lost in here. You had no place. None of us knew where we belonged. When you put Howard in place, how does that shift everything else or the way you feel?
Well, it holds it together. It has its own story. It makes sense.
It makes sense?
Yes. Yeah.
With Howard there, do you feel like, where do you belong? If Howard is there, do you have a sense of where you fit then?
If his presence is known, he's dead. All right, so then where's Marty?
If he's dead but not denied,
But not denied.
right?
Then, I belong where I belong. I belong right here. And Marion, that would fit. And Dad, where's Dad? Dad would be right next to Mom. That would be a whole different picture. There's Donnie.
Is that where Donnie would still be?
Yeah, he'd be the kid.
So how does it feel when you look at this picture?
It feels better. It feels possible. It feels real. All the parts are there. They're all present and they're all real. There's something real about it.
And what about that feeling that reflected on your social atom of belonging a little bit here and a little bit here and a little bit here?
That feels good. That feels good.
You feel more settled in a
Yeah,
place?
Right.
So what do you want to say to yourself from here, knowing what you know now?
I think you were very wise. And it was too much to carry all by yourself. And even though everybody else seemed to have a role, your role was the most honest one. It really was. Because you knew what was not right. Probably in here.
I was taking care of myself. Is there anything she carries that you could lift from her, from here, knowing what happens to the social atom when Howard is acknowledged and everybody has a sense of place?
Ask the question again. Is there anything?
Is there anything she carries from the past, unfinished
That she
business,
can
whatever,
give to me?
that she can give to you?
That she can give to me? It's so laden with the history. It's hard for me to say that. Because
What parts of
I guess that I think that could mean that there would be some kind of hope that what you know could in some way have its place. It could help this family work through its pain. You wouldn't be the only one knowing. You'd feel more a part of things.
You wouldn't be the only one knowing that something here didn't match up, that something here was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could give her a gift from out here, from the adult self, is there something, some burden she's carrying that you can lift off her shoulders, knowing what you know now?
Knowing what I know now, it's really not up to you. It's not your burden. You don't have to carry the burden for others. You can know what you know and not feel it's your responsibility. I have a proviso, though. It's so important to feel connected. So it's real hard to know from where I am right here about how to, that feeling that it's so important to connect and not take the dilemma of not taking on other people's burdens, but still wanting that connection.
That's how I learned to connect back here. I learned that connection meant holding big amounts of burden for everybody else. I didn't learn that connection was an in and out kind of a thing, a back and forth, a modulated experience. Connection for me means that.
That's so true. That says it. Yeah, it's like I'm not the problem solver here. The modulation, the in and out. That's how things get resolved, so that other people can be different as I intersect with them at different times. So it isn't all mine
Not
to
all
carry
up to me.
and figure out.
It's also a relief to know about him, because I knew that Mama was sad about something and I didn't know what. It just helps to know. Helps to know.
Is that how it feels from in there? It helps to know.
That is. So I can feel pain for her, but it's not her pain.
Say that again.
I can feel pain for her, but it's not her pain.
There's some sense of separation,
Mm-hmm.
some sense of she's
Mm-hmm.
her person and I'm my person.
Right.
And the pain I'm feeling within me isn't all hers.
Right. Thank you. That's big.
That's big.
That is big.
That's big. I carried it as mine all these years.
Right.
I carried it as mine. I didn't know it was hers.
That it was hers, however it was. However that experience was to her. Because she did have a lot of pain, and so did Dad.
People have pain.
Right. And it gets brought forward.
Yep. When they can't own it, it leaks out into the system, and the system has to own it. And nobody knows quite what they're owning. We needed to find you where you were, Howard, and bring you back, so we didn't feel you every day in a million different ways. We all lost our sense of place.
The secret.
All right.
The secret.
The secret.
Yeah.
Yeah. The big secret. The secret that we didn't hurt for you. Is that the secret? What's the secret?
The secret that the hurt was all focused around that, really.
That's the secret? That the hurt was focused around Howard's denied death?
That's how he symbolized hurt, you know, in his life and her life. And we therefore carried it as a system.
Right.
Does that, no?
But nobody really
No.
knew about Howard, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it was sort of, he became a secret. He was down on paper somewhere.
You were down on paper somewhere. Somewhere inside of each of us, you were down on paper.
Right.
Tissue paper, instant
Right.
tissues.
Right. Instant tissues. Done.
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 Oh, done. That's good. Okay.
Thanks, family.
As your dad, I felt peripheral. I felt, you know, 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And as Bob, you know, that's such a familiar stance, because I never wanted to do 100% commitment because it was too painful if something should go wrong. I had to have my foot out so that I could retreat before you slammed the door shut on me. And I just, you know, I don't want to be peripheral. I don't want to have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'm 100% committed. And really brought that up. Also about when you talked about carrying your mother's guilt or shame, well, that's what I heard. And I know that it became so clear to me that I've been carrying my mother's anger, I've been carrying my mother's guilt and shame, you know, and I don't really need that anymore. It became very crystal clear to me through your work that that's what I've been doing. I've been carrying her stuff, and, you know, I have enough anger of my own. I have enough anger. I don't need to carry her shame and her anger and all of that. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
When Betsey was talking about disconnection, I really resonated with that. A need to be connected is so strong. And it's really hard for me when school ends and my groups, you know, end, and I don't feel community. And I just, I don't like feeling disconnected. It really brought it up.
Thanks, Betsey, for choosing me to be her mom. And I have to say it was really hard for me to do it because I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. And then I felt that how it connected for me was, what would it feel like to have a child that is witnessing me, and I even know they are, and I can't acknowledge them in that way because then I might have to take some kind of action. I might have to change in a way I don't have the capacity to do, and that's what I was feeling when I was being your mom, and I felt so bad after, like I didn't give you what you needed. And that's sort of a theme has been that I've worked through, is that I can't give everybody what they need, but that being that person who just can't do it, like, and actually being angry on some level at the person who needs something from me that I can't do it. But, you know, just being here makes me realize that I really took care of myself, you know, and your piece where it's like where you spoke to yourself, that you took care of yourself, you know, in the way you had to. And I feel like I did as a kid, and I feel like I'm doing it now. And whatever it takes, that's what, because I'm choosing life.
I think today was a culmination, and I had no idea of it. Even as it was really going with my gut, you know. So I think I've been in a process, and I think that I had no idea of what I had to do, and I just trusted you to be there with me and for something to happen.
In psychodrama, we use space as part of the therapeutic milieu. We use space as part of the therapy itself. In fact, we concretize. Things that have been living in the mind in this kind of amorphous form get concretized, and we never can underestimate the power of a simple concretization or space. Who's standing over here? Who's over here? Look at that distance. Look at that enmeshment. Where are you in the family system? Where is everybody else in relationship to you? Show me. What are the size proportions? Are you little? Are they big? Let's work with that. What does it feel like to be little? Let's change that. What if we made you bigger and them smaller? Let's move that. What if this family were different? How would you position it as you wish it had been? That can also be a very powerful healing moment. It brings up pain, usually, because we didn't have it, and because it's that moment of recognition that we're probably not going to have it. But what it does do is allow for a template of what we would have liked to be there, to be experienced, so that we know what we want to go towards. So often, unconsciously, we look for what we had. We need to create a new what we had in psychodrama so that we can look for something different. Somehow we need to get that new experience so that we can go for it. Psychodrama allows us to synthesize the new experience, and that speeds up the process. We don't have to do it in life and reject it, do it in life, reject it. We can do it in psychodrama. A couple reject them and then say, well, how do we really want it to be?
It stirred in my own mind how important it is to do this work in the formation of a relationship, because we do bring it all into that relationship. The psychodramatic approach is the only honest way to approach it, where each person is understanding something about how reenactments occur in the context of their relationship. That's where I think the work perhaps doesn't get acknowledged. That there's a lot in the Hendricks work about the impact of each person's experiences that they bring into the relationship. But I find what doesn't get spoken to is the importance of working with that, putting it out in role play through experiential exercises. Psychodrama is the only way. It has to happen. I call it in 3D.
Right.
It really does. Every so often I'll be kind of bogged down with a client in talking, and then I know it's just there has to be movement, and psychodrama is the format. It gives so many different ways to do that.